Welcome back to the Phonetic Evolver Devlog. When I last left off, I said I was going to add spaces after the aspects when you type it in. So here you can see, if I put in labial, so now when I click on coronal, it adds a space afterwards, so you can see that I did it. And also, let's say if I wanted to add between coronal and labial, if I wanted to add a T, so I can go click it, and you can see it added it where the mouse was. Well, before it added it at the end every time, no matter where the cursor was. I also made that you can swipe down the IPA chart if you want, just like that. If you don't want it, you can hide it from view so that you can see all your sound changes as it is. All the buttons work. As you can see, when I press new, it creates new lines. And when I press delete, it deletes the row that I'm deleting on. It's hard to see because it was many rows, but here you can see clearly it deletes the row that I click delete on. Now on to programming, the main course of this episode, the tree. Phew, that was a lot of hard work. Here's what I have to show for it so far. Here is the tree that I'm working on, as you can see here. What I first tried to do was put separate drawing areas between each generation, and then in each of the drawing areas I drew a path between the generations, like so. But the problem was that the math to get this to happen was extremely complex, and it got even more complex when I tried adding a zoom feature, because not only do I have to deal with where all the generations go, but also where all the drawing areas go, and the paths in the drawing areas I had to update, and that was very complex, and it doesn't make sense for such a simple feature to be this overly complex. So I abandoned this idea in favor of putting a single drawing area over the whole screen, and in there I drew the paths between the generations within the same drawing area instead of on separate drawing areas. Another thing I added is a zoom feature, which, as you can see, lets you zoom in and back out, but I'm not sure why, but when I zoom it makes the program extremely slow. Like, look over here now, when I try to scroll, look how long it takes. So let me show you the code that zooms the tree. First I get the new zoom level, then I get all the positions for all the generation headers, then I move around all the generation headers based on the new X and Y positions, which sends out a signal to the drawing area to redraw the surface, which then goes to all of the generation headers and gets their positions. Then it draws a Bezier curve between all of the generation headers. All of this is pretty straightforward and nothing seems out of the ordinary, so what is causing any of this to create lag? I can't seem to figure it out, so if anybody in the comments can help me out on that, that would be very much appreciated. Another side effect of this lag, or of whatever I'm doing, is that it gets pixelated, as you can see over here. Once I start zooming it in, all the lines get pixelated, and I'm not sure why. Next thing on the list is to fix the vowel chart. It doesn't look so good right now. It's very messy because I have to deal with all the X and Y positions manually, so I'm gonna go and fix that quickly. Be right back. Alright, that was a lot of sweatshop work, which I don't like, but hey, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do. It looks damn sexy right now. If you're wondering why the sound changes tab from last devlog now says G1 add 0, it's because in the tree tab now, if you double click on any of the generation headers, it will open up a new tab with the sound changes of the generation that you clicked on. Next thing I'm going to work on is that when you open up a new generation tab, it shows all the sound changes that that generation has. Catch you next time.